Thank you for joining us, John. Can you tell us what led up to you deciding that you would just walk home?
I'd say it was brought on by the number of times that our train has been canceled in the past 4 or 5 years. It's been progressing to where it's becoming normal, maybe not to have a train every 2 weeks. They cancel one, and in that 1 day cancel, everything gets thrown out of the wheel doesn't turn properly, like our construction that's happening at the school, our water treatment plant, our lift station, everything that's being built in our community, it gets affected. Not only that, children go hungry. There's families here that depend on that train. They have their groceries shipped to them through that train. All our essential supplies that we need to keep ourselves alive during our life. When we get up in the morning, everything that has to do with living comes on that train. So in my mind, I thought to myself, hey, well, why are we just sitting back? Why are we letting this become a normal activity? Why is it such it's so easy for them to say, well, we're going to cancel the train on you today without any recourse, without any thought for the community itself, for the well-being of the community. They just sweep that aside and say, well, that's okay, it's only Puck. You know, it's that mindset that told me, well, here, John, you need to do something. Somebody's got to get up and say something. Somebody's got to try and show something to the outside world to see exactly how the railway company that operates our train treats our community. Like we're nothing, like that dust bunny under the couch that builds there and forgotten about. Nobody sweeps it. And
yeah, no, such a huge disservice and such an important lifeline for you and everybody else there. What was that journey like? It's been very hot these past days. There's been fires up around that way.
Oh yeah. It was such a roller coaster ride in our mind. It was 1 minute we'd be way up here saying, okay, we can do this, we can do this. 15 minutes later, we're suffering. Our feet are hurting. The heat is beating down on us. We're trying to keep hydrated using beaver pond water just to cool ourselves off. At one point during the second day, we ran out of water for about 4.5 hours or something like that. And my wife was dehydrating. My nephew was the first one to start throwing up. He started saying, I got a headache, I feel sick. And not long after that, my wife started feeling sick as well. And then I started feeling sick. I threw up in front of them. And I encouraged them, don't give up. Let's keep moving. If we sit here, this is where we're going to perish here if we don't keep moving. Let's find a cool spot to sit. The railroad crew is about 7-8 miles ahead of us here. Let's try and cover as much space to get to them, I told them. So yeah. That was the hardest part of the trip, was when we ran out of water.
Wow.
When we had the supplies, when we had our water, when we had our food, you know, we no problem. The only thing that was bothering us was the heat. It was like walking in the desert, you know. It was very hot. Some of the videos I took, you could actually see the heat rising off up the tracks. Yeah. You could just see it. You could just see it.
No, I believe it. Matthias Colomb Cree Nation Chief Gordy Bear laid out some of the concerns in a recent press release, including a lack of support for vulnerable passengers, a dismissive attitude to complaints are among them. What are some of your concerns with rail service in the area? You talked about it there. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I guess the other thing I'd like to add is the rail service going up north towards Lynn Lake is non-existent this year because of construction happening by Manitoba Hydro. They're fixing their dam or something. So they're not allowing my family and a few other families that access that side of our country to use the track. They're telling us that we can't be traveling on there because they're hauling stuff. And that to me is a direct attack on my rights as a First Nation person to be able to access my traditional lands, to do my harvesting, my medicine harvesting, my hunting, my berry picking, everything that a native, does. We're not allowed to do that because of the construction, because of HBR hauling equipment for Manitoba Hydro. We're totally cut off.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to leave it there, John. We wish you all the best on your journey there, and thank you for chatting with us today.
Okay, can I say something? I'd like to thank the ladies that came out to meet us. The ladies, their names are Sandra Hart, Margaret Linklater, and Sunshine Moore. They made that trek 15 miles out of the community here, pulling 50, 80-pound wagons with their supplies just to try and come and, to encourage us, to keep us going. They also walked home into the community with us. And also my brother Roy Colomb and Leonard Hart were coming out there with quads to bring us supplies such as water, food, tent, blankets. They were, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have made our journey. And I want to make special mention to my nephew. They called him an 18-year-old nephew. His name is John Colomb. Good job, my nephew.